So you saw my rental property, the house, and I was wondering, what did you think about it?
I think it's a lovely house. The fact that it's old doesn't bother me at all. That's wonderful. The grounds are beautiful, and they're large, and there's a nice backyard for my son. You know, I have a 5-year-old son, and I was impressed with it. I was impressed with it.
The house is really old, and I bought it maybe 15 years ago, and we had it remodeled. We did some renovations, and I did them with my brother and with my dad. We remodeled the house, and now it looks really good. So I started to advertise, so now I'm going to advertise it for rent, and we've had 3 other prospective buyers. I've had 3 other prospective tenants. I'd like to know, what do you do for employment? Where do you work?
I am an esthetician. I have a license with the state of Maryland, and an esthetician practices skincare, makeup, and waxing, and I've been doing that. I've been in the business for 15 years. I've had my license for 11 years.
All right. Wow. Waxing, that's new to me. I know that women don't have, so you, what do you do? So you wax women maybe like upper lip hair or eyebrow hair?
We get rid of unwanted hair, and I do makeup lessons and skincare on women. I also do quite a few men in my business, so it's exciting. It's very exciting. I'm people-oriented, and I enjoy my work very much.
That's great. Maybe you could wax my beard sometime. I hate shaving every single day. So maybe we could come up with a solution so I wouldn't have to shave.
And I like your mustache, too, so I would never wax that.
So do you plan to have your business in my house, or do you have a salon in a separate location that your primary business?
I'm renting space from a large beauty salon. I may convert one of the rooms, the small room, and put maybe a waxing pot, and do a few clients in the house, but I can assure you that I'm extremely neat, and my salon is immaculate, and I make sure that nothing drips. I always lay plastic down on carpets and that kind of thing. I'm not going to be using your home as my primary salon, but to tell you the truth, there might be a few people, friends and clients that I'm close to coming into the house. Yes, that's a possibility.
If you would like to set up the small room, that's all right. I have one. That small room is there. We have another alternative. We have a side door instead of using the front door. The problem is, one foreseeable problem is the driveway isn't suitable for a lot of cars at one time. So if you're careful with your scheduling, that should work out fine. The rent for the house is $950 a month, and that includes water, basic cable. If you want to add HBO and all those other channels, you'd have to pay for that yourself. That would be your responsibility if you wish. You have to pay the electricity, the gas, the phone, the typical utility bills. The gas is for the stove and for the heat. We do have central air. Do you have any questions for me?
Could you tell me what your last 3 utility bills were, so I have an idea of how to budget?
The electric is anywhere between $100 and $150, somewhere in that range. And the electricity is somewhere between, and the heat and the air conditioning, the heat, that also depends on how much or how hot or how cold it is outside. If you cook a lot, that will raise your price. If you eat out a lot, then your bill wouldn't be as high. Altogether, I'm thinking probably $100 to $150 every month for electricity, for your gas. An average of $150 a month for everything. I do have basic cable in the living room and in the bedroom. We could splice the wire. I can splice the wire for your son's bedroom. That's a possibility if you need me to do that. I wouldn't mind. It is a 2-car garage. Now, in one of the garages, I do have an old car. So I do ask that you make sure that you keep that locked at all times. It's very important. That car is extremely important to me. But the other one, you are free to use. So what do your hours look like for work? Do you work in the daytime? Do you work evenings, afternoons? What's your schedule?
I usually go in around 10 after I drop my son off. And sometimes I work until 8 or 9 in the evening. My parents take care of my little boy for me after he gets back from school. And then my days off are Sundays and Mondays. And sometimes I'll go in late or I'll get home a little early. It depends on how many bookings I have.
So for the times that you want to work outside the home, what hours are you thinking to have that open?
Yes, because a lot of my girlfriends will come in. That's mainly who I do. A few clients that live close to the house, it would be more convenient for them to come to the house. And a few girlfriends that visit on the weekends or maybe perhaps my day off. That room looked ideal because of the separate entrance. But I want you to understand that I do have a primary salon outside of the house and that there are not going to be a tremendous amount of people traipsing through the house. I would definitely keep that down to a minimum.
That should be fine. So I'm going to ask you some questions about your background. Where did you grow up? Are you from Waterford? Or did you move here on your own, or are you from another place?
Originally from Bowie, Maryland. Have lived there for almost 30 years.
So why do you want to live close to Baltimore? What did you do there? Did you work there?
Being closer to a large city like Baltimore, a lot of my clients come from north of Bowie, and I'm looking for a new clientele.
I can appreciate that. You have one, so you mentioned that you have a son. Do you have a husband? Are you married?
I have a little boy, he's 5 years old, and yes, I am a single mother. I've never been married.
All right. The house itself is rather large. Is that too big for a single parent, or for a single family, for 2 people? Is the house too big? Maybe the house is too big just for the two of you, or is that comfortable? Is that a comfortable space for you?
A large house, and that's what I'm looking for my son. I don't want to raise him in an apartment or a townhouse environment. I like the fact that it's a single-family home. I love the fact that it's older. He's done a beautiful job with it. And I'm comfortable with the fact that it's that big, and I'm also comfortable with the price that you're asking. I think it's reasonable.
All right. So I have decided that I don't want pets in the house. I'm very adamant about no pets. I've had a previous tenant that they had a dog in the house, which at the time was fine. But when I went in after they left, there was quite a bit of damage to the house. There were urine spots everywhere. There was a broken glass window. The blinds were also destroyed. There was just a lot of damage to the house. And I know that that is a per case basis. Not everybody is like that, but that is just my rule, no pets. Do you have any pets?
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because my 5-year-old son desperately wants an animal, and I am highly allergic to animals. So I take him to my sister's house, and she has a beautiful collie that he plays with. And my sister-in-law, who has 5 children, she has a little zoo over there. So I send him to my relatives when he gets a craving for an animal. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to have an animal unless I get shots, and I'm not right now willing to do that. So that's not going to be a concern. There will be no animals or pets in the house.
All right, sounds good. So if you have any sort of general maintenance problems with a house, if something needs fixed, a plumber, mechanic, you can first always let me know first, and I will see what I can do. If it's something that I can't do, I will be happy to hire a professional to come in and take care of that. That's fine. Also, let me know when you're going to do some cosmetic work. If you don't like the way something looks, we can talk about it. We can talk about changing paint colors and cosmetics. Cosmetics are easy to fix, but just make sure that everything we discuss first.
Are you finished renovating the kitchen? I noticed that perhaps it could use a coat of paint.
So you don't like my purple kitchen?
Well, normally I like purple, but not in my kitchen.
Do you feel like it's too dark? Maybe you want something that's lighter to brighten the kitchen, to brighten the place up a little bit?
I think that because it's small, the dark purple color makes it look even smaller. Maybe something lighter, but we of course would consult on that. Sounds like you would like to get rid of the purple kitchen too, so perhaps I could help you with some decorating ideas.
So I will take a look again at all of the other applicants, and I will also have you fill out your application. And you were the most, you shared the most with me. You were very personable. You've been the best candidate I've seen so far, but I will need your credit check and that typical background information. So there is a $450 deposit that you have to put in just to move in. Also, if the rent is late after the 7th, there will be an additional fee charged onto that. But all the rules and regulations will be outlined in the lease and the payment schedule as well. Do you have any questions for me? anything that you want to talk about or something else that we haven't discussed already?
I'm sure that there's more questions I'm going to have as I review the lease and the application. But I just want you to know that I'm a very responsible person and that I am a totally dedicated mother. And my life revolves around my son's life. I don't have a boyfriend at the time. There's not men coming in and out of the house. I make sure that my son keeps things neat. I'm very careful about, in fact, I'm fanatical about him spilling things on the carpet. He's very careful. He's as careful as a 5-year-old can be. But I want you to know that I'm very conscientious about other people's property, and when I move in, I will consider it my house for that time that I'm there, and I promise that I'll take very good care of it.
Thank you very much. So your son, he will be careful. He will make sure you'll make sure that your son is careful, and that that you guys will take good care of the house. That's fine. So if the rent's late, May 6th, May 7th, anything after that, I will have to add a fee on. And always make sure that if the rent is anytime after the 7th, that you always let me know what's going on. If you get a few months behind, that means that we will have to talk about what's going on. So I will have to make sure that you're on time. I did have a previous tenant that was late on their rent. At first they were fine, and then they just kept getting behind and behind. Things kept getting worse. So I had to evict them, and that was just a bad situation for everyone. But you seem like a responsible person. You really impressed me. You were very open. You've been the best candidate I've seen so far.
It shouldn't be too much of a problem because I've anticipated that I would probably spend about $1,000 a month just in the rent. And I have some savings, so I can assure you there's not going to be a problem that way. I did think of one question, though. The lawn. I'm a busy lady, and I really know nothing about gardening and lawn maintenance. I have brothers that and a father that used to do the lawn mowing, and that's a question that I have. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do that. Do you think you could help me out, or are you responsible for the lawn maintenance?
I live about 3 blocks away, so I'm really close. So I live very close to the property itself. I don't have any experience. I've never experienced that before, but we'll see. Maybe I could charge you a little bit extra for taking care of the lawn and doing the mowing and the yard work.
I think we could work together. Perhaps at the time that you are mowing the lawn, I can be weeding or bagging or helping, but I don't know if I'm comfortable about you asking me to pay for that service. Perhaps I feel that it should be included in the rent. But I'm very flexible, and I'm willing to help you with it.
All right, so we can agree that when I'm taking care of the lawn, you can give me a wax. Maybe a bikini wax, maybe a chest wax. I'd like a nice bikini wax for when I go swimming so I look really good.
Okay.
Do you mind? I'm just kidding.
I think we can work that out. Maybe a pedicure, so when you're wearing your sandals, your feet will look good. I'm sure we can work that out. Just pedicures and manicures. I don't do sculptured nails, which men, I guess you, it's fake nails that women wear. I don't do those, but I do pedicures and manicures. And I do quite a few men. Men love pedicures.